excited today because we have another one of our extraordinary authors, Terry Jackson. Hi,
Hi
Terry.
there.
Oh my gosh, from Tucson, Arizona, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about Terry and I know why we're here. Well, pretty much. We're going
Eh,
to find out because we're both talking right before we started the broadcast about, well, it'll be interesting to see what we have to say because that's just kind of the way we roll. When you're a wild and wise woman, it's all about, allowing the divine to work through you. So one of the ways that the divine is working through us is that I was really called to help women find their voice in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways is through this first Wild and Wise Women book collaborative that we're doing. We're working with Influence Publishing. It's been an incredible experience. We put the call out on National Authors Day, US National Authors Day, and November 1st. And what's so exciting about this is we've got women from around the world. And Terry, I know you're in Tucson,
right.
and so welcome. And why don't you, I know a little bit about you, and I'm so excited and so honored to know you, and I'm interested in knowing more. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and your business? That'd be a great place to start.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bev. I just want to say I'm really excited to be here and very honored that I'm one of these authors. And I must say that the women authors on this book are so amazing.
They are,
So
yeah.
really amazing and just so supportive of everyone. You
Mhm.
don't see that often. And I feel blessed. So anyway, a little bit about me. My husband and I live in Tucson, Arizona. We came here in 2002 so that he could do his master's program, and then we just stayed. So for a while, both of us taught out on the reservation. We taught at the Indian Community College for a couple of years, and then we are powwow people. My husband is Chumash
Mm.
from California, um, San Ynez Band of Chumash, about 50 miles inland from Santa Barbara, and I'm Shawnee and Cherokee, and we're powwow dancers. So we have to go and get supplies to make our regalia and this and that. And so here we are in Tucson. It has a huge Indian population, and it's like we couldn't find anything. We needed 250 bone hair pipe. We found 25. So we
Wow.
decided, we actually had a friend over, and she's Navajo. So we were going to go and offer some tobacco on top of a mountain. We didn't quite get there. She's an early bird as a Navajo, and we're late. But anyway, we actually said a little prayer, went back down to Tucson, found a newspaper with a ad about some place to rent, and it's this little house, and it's right by the university. And we said, okay, we're going to have our own shop. So we started
Wow.
our own shop, and we had nothing. I think we spent maybe $5,000 to get some jewelry and some other supplies, and we took everything we could from our house that we had that we thought we could sell. So that has been 15 years, and we have a lot more stuff. And what we have become is sort of a icon in the Tucson area for the native population.
Wow.
We're involved with the University of Arizona, the Law Student Center, the Native American Student Association, the Tucson Indian Center, and so we're sort of a go-to place for people to call and ask, do you have drummers? Do you have singers? We need a head lady. We need a head man, everything for powwow. And then we have people that come in that buy supplies to make their regalia. So it's an integral part now of the Tucson area, and we try to help out as much as we can. And it's been extremely rewarding for us. So that's our love, to help and do what we can for the community. So,
Wow, Terry, that is awesome. I love it. And I love your story. And I know there's a lot more than that. We're not going to be sharing too much about your chapter
Right.
today. And at the same time, I know that every woman who's involved in this book, it is about your life journey, and maybe a part of it, and how you came through it and what you did with it and all
Right.
of that. So I want to ask how, because we're going to do more books, and we're going to go out and we're going to invite more women to
Mm-hmm.
come in and find their voice and to share their story. So I would love if you would talk to us a little bit about, what was that process like? First of all, why did you answer the call? Because we did put it out there, right before winter holidays, and a lot of people are very busy. So, why did you answer the call, and how has that process of actually writing been for you?
Well, when I saw it, it answered that the application, when I got it, the information about the book sparked something in me to keep me writing. I love to write.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yes, and I have written a novel, but it's still sitting there over there somewhere and a lot of edits and whatnot. So I thought, okay, just get back on the horse and ride it, Terry. So just do this, challenge yourself, So I did, because I really thought I had something to say for certain sections of the population that may have
Yeah.
gone through what I went through. So I love the fact that we started out with a group meeting when I was in Dubai.
Yes,
Um,
that was amazing. Really around the world.
and so Julie was so helpful in sort of getting us started. The one thing I will say that was the hardest thing for me was to send in my first draft without reading and editing it.
Ah,
That took a lot. I mean, it took a lot for me not to do that. But I did change a few typos, but I did send it in. And then Danielle's been fabulous and really knows how to keep your own particular voice while she's editing, your goofs. So, and making it shorter because mine was too long, and sometimes you just don't know what's going to be important to other
mhm.
people, so you just blah 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 all the way through. And then so getting it back and just having someone look over your shoulder, ask
Yeah,
questions to make you think a little bit more, because since we know our own story, sometimes we don't even realize that no one else does. And
right.
we skip things that
Mhm.
sort of it makes sense to us, but someone might have a question. So they're really good. It was an amazing process. Very beneficial.
Awesome. Well, yes, influence publishing has been fantastic to work with, definitely. And I appreciate the fact that you said one of the hardest thing was to send your story in without, trying to make it perfect or anything. And that's what I found to be really great about this particular process, is that
Right.
every author was invited to tell her story as though she were journaling, as though it was, talking, having a conversation, you're telling your story. And that's, to me, in reading the chapters and looking at them, that's what makes them so inspiring and
Right.
so interesting, because it's you open the book and you're right there with that woman. I'm right there with you, Terry, going through your what's going on with you. And I I know it, but as an author myself, that first, pushing it out there for somebody to read, especially when you think, oh, I know this cannot be good.
Right.
And yet
Exactly.
it is so good, and it's very empowering to,
Hmm.
to put that out there and to have somebody help you. And I love what you said as well, that Danielle is an editor and Julie is an editor. They help us to keep our own voice, and yet at the
Right.
same time make it very, very readable. So that's been amazing as
Yes.
well. And I want to ask you, so you talked about so let's give just a little bit of a hint of what
Okay.
you're going to be talking about. So when you're talking about, because I want if anybody would like to contact you before the
Hmm.
book's out, which is coming up pretty soon, whether you're watching this live or on replay, we're almost there. We're getting to like less than a little more than a month out. So that's very exciting.
It is.
So what about your chapter and what you have to say and what you shared? What would be like one thing that you'd want women to know that, you've really had the experience and you've had the challenge and you've had the victory that came with this, this particular set of experiences that you had. So what would you like one thing you'd like to share about that?
Well, for me, so I had a lot of big things, but because this is the newest thing, is when you want something, you have to be totally committed. Through my
Mm,
experience, and especially the last 20 years, I've met a lot of people that said they wanted this particular thing, but they
yeah.
couldn't stand the test of time.
Ah,
It either wasn't as important as they thought, or I don't understand it because I'm in it for the long haul. And so
yeah.
I just have to say, you have to put everything, your whole self, into a project, whatever it is. And mine was a
Yes.
certain way of life. And so I gave up everything else because this is what I wanted. And I was bound and determined that I'm stubborn. I'm not giving it up. Just like a little kid. I'm not eating those green beans. So I'm that way, and I think I learned that in order to really succeed, you have to be fully committed. This is not
Yes.
Your life is not just like the second job. Life is your first job. And so,
Oh, I love that.
yeah, so you have to put everything you can in it every day. And then just wonderful things can happen. Even when you're in the dredges of a horrible experience, I know somebody or somebody that's willing to put out a hand and help if you'll just ask. And so together,
Ah.
all make a difference in each other's lives. So that's sort of where that's where I am in my life right now. Is I'm the one that extends the hand.
Oh, that's beautiful, Terry. And I love the way you spoke about that. Yes, when we have life is our first job. That's
Yeah,
our first priority, our first commitment. That is beautiful because really when we can live from that space, oh my gosh, they do fall into place. And you're right. There's things that happen where you seriously have to get that part of you that knows the why and say, we're doing this no matter
right,
what. And
right.
yet at the same time, I would imagine that your journey also provided different miracles of like magic, and it's like, wow, did you see what just happened,
Yes,
based on your commitment?
yes, it did. I used to just call it stubbornness, but now that I'm older, I guess I should call it commitment. It sounds better. So I
I don't know, people have
adult.
sometimes it's like, I don't want to commit. So I love that you in your chapter and who you are, you're inspiring in your commitment, because you see, when I hear you talk about, who you are and what you're doing and how you're impacting your community, and now through your story impacting the world, I mean, that's really inspiring to me. And it also it fills me with such gratitude for you, Terry. So
Thank you. I
thank
appreciate that.
yeah, really thank you for showing up. I totally agree with you. The women in this circle in this book, they're extraordinary.
Oh yes,
And
they
I know you spoke a little bit about that, and it feels to me like we're making like really deep lifelong friends that we may or may not meet in person, and at the same
right.
time there's, yeah, this collaborative living, this collaborative writing, this anything about, really being, and especially as women, that's for us to be able to unlearn some of the crap that we did growing up about, pushing other women away or anything like that. It's so amazing to be able to, to open up and to be these incredible, that feminine fire of welcoming other women. And like you said, you're now the hand that reaches out to help. And I love that, because I think another thing that you're going to really inspire women to do, and you've already inspired me to do, is to know that it's okay to ask for help.
Right.
And not only that, but to actually ask for
Right.
help. So
Right.
love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So
Yes.
how are you excited about the book coming out, or what
Oh,
do you think
yes.
about this? We're gonna be published.
I am so excited. I have told all my family they better buy the book off of Amazon the day it launches. It's like I'm calling in all my favors. Okay, so here I did help you do that. All you have to do is this. It's gonna cost you, I don't know, but it won't be much.
I exactly not compared to what you got and what you're gonna get. That's
That's right.
fantastic.
Always want
I
to know what they can give me here. I've got it now.
I love, love, love that. Okay, so and if people have been listening. So women or anybody who's been listening to this, and if they want to talk to you, like now before anything, what's the best way? Is it through Facebook Messenger, or how best to reach you, or do you?
You
What
can
would be the best?
several ways. You can
Okay,
look me up on Facebook because I don't know what it is. It's Terry Davidson Jackson.
great.
My email address is azontheroadagain at gmail.com because I travel an awful lot.
Love
Um,
it.
and then our website, if you want to take a look around at the shop, is www.sacredgroundstp.com.
Sacredgroundstp.com. I love it. That
Yes,
sounds amazing.
we were supposed to have coffee and beads, and so the sacred grounds.
Oh,
So,
even better. Love it.
so
Oh, well, Terry, thank you so much. Thanks
you're
for joining me
welcome.
today. We'll be talking more. We're going to be
All
out
right,
there, and everyone who's listening to us either live or on replay, feel free to check out some of our other authors and be
right.
ready because we're going to be inviting you to our events to join us in our online. We're going to have several different phases of the launch. First is going to be the online print book, and then we go from there. So Terry, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining me
Bev.
today. I'm honored and ecstatic about this. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us. Wild and Wise Women, the book collaborative will be coming to your bookstores and Amazon soon. So thanks, everybody. And
Thank you, Bev.
thank you until we see you again. Just like as always, be wild, be wise, and know that you're loved. So thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Terry.
See you.